All right, so you want to know more about VSaaS?
VSaaS.
Yeah, Visual Surveillance as a Service.
Right.
It's got a lot of buzz, right? But is it really a shortcut for your security solution? We're going to do a deep dive today, figure out what VSaaS is all about, and if it's right for you.
You know, it's interesting because VSaaS, it really is like this big shift in how we think about security. Remember those old systems? Like rooms full of servers?
Yeah.
And you need that IT guy on speed dial constantly.
Yeah, always something to fix.
It's not like that at all with VSaaS.
So instead of that mountain of equipment,
Hmm.
we've got, what, the cloud now? It's like the difference between having stacks of CDs and just streaming music, right? But for security cameras.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. VSaaS takes all those recordings and puts them securely online. It's like this digital vault. And the best part, you can access it from anywhere, anytime. No more running back to your office to check footage.
I can see why people are excited about that,
Mm-hmm.
especially these days. Being able to check in from anywhere is essential. But okay, so it stores stuff in the cloud. What else makes VSaaS so different? What are we even talking about here?
One of the biggest things is just how scalable it is. Imagine your business is growing like crazy. You need to add a bunch of new cameras.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught without coverage.
Right. With Visas, you just update your subscription and boom, you're covered. No need to buy a whole new system or get bogged down in a ton of tech headaches. Security just sort of grows alongside your business.
Okay, that flexibility is a big deal.
Especially for, well, everyone really these days. No one wants to be tied down by their tech, right? Seems way easier than the old way of doing things. But those traditional systems always seem so expensive, like you'd need to take out a loan just to get started.
Well, and you're right. With the old way, you have that huge upfront cost. You got to buy all the hardware, the software licenses, pay for installation. It all adds up so fast. But VSaaS, it flips the script. Instead of one massive expense.
So is it like a subscription then?
It is. It's more like a predictable monthly fee. Like you think about leasing a car versus buying one outright.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. So instead of having to shell out a huge chunk of cash up front, it becomes a regular operational expense.
Exactly. And what's amazing, it can actually be much cheaper in the long run. Oh, yeah. How much cheaper are we talking here? Is this like saving a few bucks or is this like actual money?
There was a study done, and they found that switching to visas could save businesses an average of $60,000 over 3 years.
Wow. Okay, that's not just a discount. That's serious savings. What business couldn't use an extra $60,000, right? I'm guessing those savings come from more than just the subscription fee, though.
You're right on the money. When you sign up for Visas, your subscription usually covers a lot more than just the cloud storage. You're also getting maintenance, equipment costs sometimes.
So it's like an all-inclusive security package deal?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And when you factor all of that in, it really adds up. That total cost of ownership for Visas can be way lower than managing an on-premise system yourself.
Okay, this is already sounding pretty good, but hold on. Before we crown VSaaS the king of security solutions,
Right.
there's always a catch, right? I mean, it's got to be perfect for every business, right?
That's the million-dollar question. It's great for a lot of businesses, but it's not a magic solution for every single situation. Sometimes a more robust on-premise system, something like Milestone XProtect, might be the better way to go. It really comes down to your specific needs.
Okay, that's fair. So we know now VSaaS is more than just a fancy acronym. It's a different way of approaching your security. We talked about the cloud, remote access, scaling things up as your business grows. Plus, those cost savings are nothing to sneeze at. But how does this all actually stack up against a system like Milestone XProtect? One that's known for being really powerful. I guess we'll need to dig into that, huh?
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting.
All right, so we're talking VSaaS versus like the champion of security, Milestone XProtect. When does VSaaS actually beat out the old reliable on-premise solution?
Okay, so think about it this way. You've got a small business, right? Maybe it's a cafe, maybe a little shop. You need good security. But you don't have a huge IT department just hanging around.
Yeah, no one's got time for that.
Exactly. You don't need a tech guru on call 24/7. That's where VSaaS really shines. It's straightforward. You can scale it up easily. Plus, you don't need to become a computer whiz to set it all up.
So I can finally say goodbye to that nightmare closet full of servers and wires, huh? Music to my ears. But what about the big guys, the companies with tons of locations, security protocols up the wazoo? Can those companies even use VSaaS? Or are they stuck with the old way?
No, they can definitely use it. Think of it like this. A big company, headquarters, branches all over the place. They can actually use both VSaaS and an on-premise system together. It's called a hybrid approach.
Oh, so like get the best of both worlds.
Exactly. They could use XProtect, that powerful system, For their main locations, the ones with all the important stuff, XProtect has features like smart maps, so you can actually see a visual representation of your security setup. And it also has these failover options, so even if something breaks,
Wait, so it keeps recording even if something goes wrong?
yep, keeps everything running smoothly. But those features might be overkill for, say, a smaller branch or a remote office.
Right, like why make things more complicated than they need to be?
That's where VSaaS comes in. For those smaller spots, VSaaS is perfect. Way more cost-effective, super easy to set up, and you can manage it all from the cloud no matter where you are.
So instead of needing like a million different logins and passwords, I got everything in one place. Makes sense. And we've talked about a few VSaaS companies, but there's one we keep coming back to. Arcules. What is it about them that's got us so interested?
What's great about Arcules is that they're all about being open, and when it comes to VSaaS, that's a big deal. Imagine you've already invested in security cameras, right?
Good ones.
Some VSaaS providers make you buy a whole new set to use their system.
Oof, talk about a budget killer.
Yeah.
So Arcules lets you stick with what works.
Yep. They work with a massive range of cameras and devices, over 6,000, so you're not throwing money away just to switch systems. And it's not just the cameras either. They also have what's called an open API.
Okay, you said the magic words. API. For those of us who haven't gone to tech school, what does that even mean? I mean, why should I care?
Think of an API like a translator for different software. Lets them talk to each other. So because Arcules has an open API, developers can actually build custom stuff for it.
Custom stuff.
Yeah, like special features or ways to integrate it with other systems that you're already using. It's way more flexible than a standard VSaaS.
Okay, starting to get it. So instead of trying to squeeze my business into their mold, I can kind of make Arcules fit my business.
Exactly. That's the power of an open API. But before you go install VSaaS tomorrow, we got to talk techie stuff for a minute.
Uh-oh, time to break out the pocket dictionaries.
Not that bad. But seriously, the most important thing for VSaaS is a rock-solid internet connection. And I mean rock solid.
Makes sense. I mean, it's all online, right?
Right. It's like trying to stream a movie on a bad connection. Painful. You also need IP cameras, but most cameras these days are already IP cameras. But setting up an on-premise system like XProtect, that's a whole different ballgame.
Okay, how different are we talking?
Yeah.
Like, do I need to learn a new language? Different.
It's a lot more hands-on. You're going to need servers that can handle all that video, a place to store it all, a network that can keep up with it all.
Yeah, sounds like a lot just thinking about it.
And that's not even mentioning the technical expertise you'll need to set it up and maintain it. Plus, don't forget about backup power in case the lights go out, keeping those servers cool, and all the regular upkeep. It's a full-time job, really.
So VSaaS, I'm trading server headaches for a good internet bill. Well, I can handle that. One thing that always makes me a little nervous with the whole cloud thing, though, how secure is my footage up there? Is it just floating around in cyberspace for anyone to see?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it does make you wonder who else can see that stuff.
And you know what? It's good to be careful. Any good VSaaS company gets that.
Oh, yeah.
They know security is important, so they actually put a ton of work into making sure everything is locked down tight.
Okay, that's good to hear. So, like, what are they actually doing? What makes them so secure?
I'm talking about heavy-duty encryption, multi-factor authentication, the works. In their data centers, those are built with the latest security in mind. It's like Fort Knox for your video footage.
Music to my ears. So it's not just about convenience then.
No, right.
It's like I'm getting this whole team of security experts without actually having to hire a whole team of security experts.
That's a great way to look at it. Think
Okay.
about it. They're constantly monitoring for threats, keeping those security protocols up to date.
So they're always one step ahead of the bad guys.
Exactly. Making sure that your data is safe 24/7.
All right, so let's recap a bit. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
We dove into VSaaS, looked at the cost, how it compares to those traditional systems, even touched on those hybrid solutions and open platforms like Arcules. We even geeked out a bit about the tech stuff. So for everyone listening, what are the big things to remember? You know, when you're trying to figure out your own security setup.
I think the main thing to remember is that there isn't one perfect solution for everyone.
Everyone's got different needs, right?
Exactly. VSaaS has a lot of advantages. It's convenient, it can save you money, you can scale it up easily, especially for those smaller businesses out there. It's a game changer, but it's not magic,
Doesn't solve every problem.
right? You got to think about what you need, what you can afford, what your plans are for the future.
Find that sweet spot between what you need and what works for your business.
Exactly. And hey, if today got you thinking about this whole cloud security thing, don't stop here. Go explore. There's a ton of cool stuff out there, and it's only getting better and better all the time.
Yeah, the future of security is looking pretty bright. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into VSaaS. Catch you next time.